You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Vampire Diaries After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Vampire Diaries After Show.
Oh, you didn't play that awkward theme song.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah.
I missed it this week.
There we go. He had it ready. This is totally different than what you normally play, but all right, we're into this.
It's part of this.
I feel like we should like just be sucking blood right now, like have an altar of sex. It should be darker in the room.
I feel it too.
You feel that?
Yeah, I think that should be me.
We should be lifting
and you
spirits.
should be looking on me.
Me and David Schifilliti.
We miss you, David.
We do. Yo, what up, AfterBuzzers? Bing is for doing, and we are doing another AfterBuzz TV After Show
Bum, bum, bum.
for the Vampire Diaries. Season 4?
Sure.
Season 3, 4. I'm all over the place.
It's 10 years in Mystic Falls, so who knows?
We're all over the place with Mystic Falls. I am DJ Jesse Janedy here in the AfterBuzz TV studio. Unfortunately, Sir David Schifilliti couldn't be with us, but we have the one, the only, Brittany Brower.
Hi, guys.
Now, we wanted to do this whole like Stefan and Elena thing, so we got the leather jackets, the white tees. We're representing tonight.
We are, if you're watching on iTunes and
on YouTube.
on YouTube, yeah, sorry. Listening on iTunes, but you're missing out because if you watch us on YouTube and AfterBuzz TV, you can see that we are wearing matching leather coats tonight in honor of the Vampire Diaries.
Love it. So, woo. Good episode.
Great.
I loved it.
They're always good. Yes.
It is. And I'm glad because I know we're about to get a flashback episode. And you know how I feel about flashback episodes. But I'm glad that we haven't touched upon a flashback episode yet. I'm liking all the drama. You know, we're kind of sitting here like, geez, it's like a freaking homework assignment trying to keep up with who, you know, is coming into the picture. We got a new character again. I mean, we're not even used to Haley being there or Connor. Like, I mean, and now we get, April.
We have April. We've got.
Now we got Haley.
Yeah. Haley. Exactly. I seriously am.
It's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming. I get a new episode. I'm like, oh my God, for Pete's sake, can we please just have one episode with the original cast? For God's sake, I beg you. It gets overwhelming.
It's like, Elena's still a vampire. We're still on the fact.
There is still plenty of entertainment there to go around. I don't know why we need to bring in April and Connor and Haley and whoever else is going on. But, I mean, Connor is bringing in a lot of drama, so I can't really complain about that.
I like him. I like having the Vampire Slayer involved. Brings me back to my Buffy days. But before we get into that, let's just, kind of quickly talk about Tyler and his little hookup situation. So Tyler's in the hospital, gets Connor's in there. He finds him, stabs him in the neck. He has like all these like gadgets and gasmo, weird things going on.
He's truly like Buffy and has superpowers. Like he's the chosen one.
He reminds me of Buffy mixed with like the principal from like the last season of Buffy. I don't know if you remember that, but yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, he stabs him in the neck with some weird situation, and then he stabs him in his mouth
with a syringe. And I at first thought I think, oh God, here's the end of Tyler. I thought he was putting something into the gums,
right.
And then, like you said, he was actually, ejecting a fluid from his gums.
Right, which doesn't make sense to me because they said it was werewolf venom. But then my thing is Tyler's a hybrid. Oh, so he's not like fully. You could just go with that because that would have just made my day with the whole Buffy theme song. We could just jam out for a second, so play that. This is me and Brittany having a jam out session, if you guys will listen to this. And when she kicks open the door, And then you have the whole Willow situation and all their face and they're all doing dramatic turns like...
No, not the one that's screaming. You know what I'm...
Yeah. And then the guys and the claws coming out of his hand.
And now Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy, is running.
But my favorite part is right at the end, season 3, episode 1, when she has the axe and she ends it.
That's the best part. Oh, yes.
All right.
All right, that was enough of that. But we do love Buffy. We always have to bring a Buffy, some sort of Buffy into every Vampire Diaries episode.
So
suck it.
Now he has, literally, now he has werewolf venom, which doesn't make sense to me because Tyler's a hybrid. So, but okay, we're gonna go with it. I'm there.
Yeah,
I'm with you guys.
Going with it. Still don't understand it at all.
I'm not gonna pick on it that much. So now apparently Klaus finds out that Connor's after Tyler, and Klaus and the mayor work some sort of situation out in which he has protection from all these hybrids. Okay, I'm with it.
I mean, watching it like always, sitting there. Oh, here comes Klaus is back. Okay, here we go. We knew Klaus wasn't going away for long. I was quite literally like watching my clock, wondering, okay, when's Klaus gonna pop again? Well, here he is. So now that Tyler is threatened to die, as well as all the other vampires, guess who's back?
Back again.
Back again. Klaus is back, and he brought 2 friends.
He brought a couple of friends.
That's what I mean, 2 friends, because he wants them to be a bodyguard for Tyler.
And Tyler brought somebody back too, without even knowing he was going to bring her back.
Right. Which someone that we didn't even know who.
Little Miss Haley, apparently in the Appalachian Mountains.
He had a good time.
A real good time.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I understand when like couples take that little break apart from each other. But hot, wild, hybrid werewolf sex, gonna make your vampire girlfriend kind of upset.
Love it.
I mean, I don't even know what's gonna happen with that right now. I mean, before we even get to all that, I guess. I mean, he comes back. Bonnie comes over. Did Klaus? No, you tell me what you thought about it. Sorry, Caroline. You're right. When she came over and Klaus heard upstairs when he was with her, and did he hear Carolyn's voice downstairs? Because he had a little grin on his face, and that's what I perceived from that, is that he kind of was like, oh, the way that Tyler brushed her off. Like, I think it's better, it's not really a good time. Yep. And he's like, oh, she doesn't know about your little rendezvous.
Right, and I thought it was interesting the way, how Klaus feels about it. It's almost like you act like you're Mr. Perfect, but you're not really Mr. Perfect. And I'm one up on you, and I have a chance at Caroline now because this is going to piss her off.
Exactly, because, we know about his big crush on her.
And we know how Caroline can get crazy up in here.
Oh, yes.
But it does kind of balance out because Caroline kind of had a thing with Klaus. So it kind of balances out because while Tyler was gone, she had a thing with Klaus. While he was gone, she had a thing with her. But now the bitch is back. Now we're treading in different types of waters. And
I mean, I don't think that she really had a thing with Klaus, though. I don't think that's a really even... They never hooked up.
Well, that's true.
No. Yeah, no, they did.
True.
That was very dramatic for such a small statement. But thank you. I love sound effects at all times. But yeah, I mean, I don't think they had really that much of a love... connection.
I mean, it was more like a mental thing. Like, I'm drawing a picture of you in a horse.
Right.
Here's a really expensive dress.
And she kind of was enjoying the attention, but this sounds like it was something like
steamy, hot, wild. Like our picture up here in the studio.
Yeah. It was very intense. I can't wait to see more about that.
Yeah, so that's...
They need a little action stirring their relationship up, though. I mean, they do need that little bit of conflict, that little lovers interest, I feel. It can't always be about the magical trio.
Well, it's interesting because actually one of our fans hit us up and said, you have to look at it like Caroline's actually really more interesting than we think. Because in the same sense that we're so, like, attracted to Elena in this love triangle, Caroline's her story is delivering the same exact thing. She has a love triangle. She's a strong female. To me, I think she's stronger than Elena because, and as we segue into Elena and her transformation, Caroline eased into her transformation. She was a bitch, and then as she became, what did you say?
Well,
she's better as a vampire?
She's better. It was, honestly, guys that are listening out there, I said this in the very beginning of the episode. I was watching it tonight, you and I said, you know, it's weird because I can kind of see where the episode's going with Elena not being able to handle this whole vampire thing very well. She's not very transitioning it into it smoothly. Caroline was annoying as a real human. Oh my God, shut up. So naggy and so, ooh. And being a vampire is the best thing that could have ever happened to her. She is into her own. She's actually a cool person. I could actually hang out with her. I mean, before she was hideous. So now I love her. Whereas now Elena.
It's kind of like.
And Elena was kind of whiny and annoying before in the sense of just always worried about everyone. It's always so dramatic and everything's so.
Just kill me.
God,
I'm over my life.
I just want to protect my brother. And I want to protect Damon. I will not live. And Stefan goes, okay, now you're a vampire. You can live forever. Just be cool. Chill a little bit. Now she just wants to kill everybody, which I gotta say I kind of like. Now she's like, I'm going to kill you. Good.
You
bravo.
like the bloodthirsty Elena.
I want her to just, I do like the bloodthirsty Elena. I like for her to have that in her and want to, you know, kind of
explore it a little.
Explore that a little, exactly. But I don't know. I just kind of also want her to, I guess it's just in typical Elena, she's overly dramatic about everything. So I guess as a vampire, she's going to be overly be dramatic as well. So,
well, what do you think about the whole thing with her and Rebekah? They're at the party. They're kind of going back and forth with each other, drama-wise. They get spiked with werewolf, which again, don't know how this happened, but we're just going to go with it. Mm-hmm. You know, even to before the whole party thing happened, Rebekah was teasing her with Heather when she walked into the bathroom and she was bleeding. And, you know, Elena was like, get out of here.
Yeah.
You know, this whole back and forth thing, it's kind of, it's funny, but.
Well, we have another triangle going on is what it is.
What is that?
Well, because Rebekah and her, you know, before they've both dated and been in love with Stefan. And
now Matt's
in
involved.
love. Exactly. We've got, well, this triangle is getting really big.
Web.
Exactly. It's not even a triangle anymore. It's definitely a web. There's just all of these, but definitely between her and Stefan. And now that Elena's a vampire, Rebekah doesn't really hold that force over her anymore, being the one that can necessarily, she's always going to be the stronger one because she's an original. But now that Elena is a vampire, it's just intensified everything. It's kind of like game on. Now you're on my level now. Let's do this. Whereas before, it's like, oh, the poor little Elena. Let's all protect her. And now Elena is like, I don't need to be protected. Like, I'm not coming to your party. You're the, you know, there's just so much aggression there. And then, okay, can I just say, I think this is like so wrong on Rebekah's part. When they're in the kitchen, she takes a beer. She takes it from Elena. And when she does that sly little move, she pulls off her ring, which makes her be able to walk in sunlight. And she throws it, and there's a ton of sun coming down in the kitchen because, of course, it's a day party in Mystic Falls with a whole bunch of high school
everyone
students.
Skip your last period.
And
it's
a huge
so
mansion.
Cool.
Yes,
so
day parties. It must be senior skip in Atlanta, Mystic Falls. And by the way, can I just say this? I'm sorry I'm skipping in the middle of a point, but why are they still in high school? I had to ask. I mean, what are they really, truly doing here? I mean, Elena, you just got your life taken away from you. Can we be homeschooled at this point? Is really going to algebra really that important?
Can you just travel? You can travel to Europe in literally less than 24 hours.
Even as a viewer, I know it's make-believe class. It's not even true. It's TV class. And I'm like, oh my God, what are they doing in this desk?
Hallelujah.
Go out and get drunk or go out and kill someone.
Well, wait.
Drink some blood. So actually, you know what? I applaud the midday party at Rebekah's. I think that is the correct thing to do. You know what? Let's do skip last period and let's go get drunk at this fabulous mansion where I probably kill the owner. I love that. Now you're acting like a real vampire. But what I do not think is right, and I'll get back to my point now, is when she takes that sly move of taking Elena's ring and puts it down the grinder of the sink.
Garbage disposal.
Exactly, whatever. I like grinder because I'm basically a gay man inside me. I like to do grinder references at all points whenever I can. I like to know it when gay men are always around me, yes. Anywho, I'm getting totally off point here. When Elena is in the corner of the kitchen and she can't get there because, her ring's going down it, I felt her anger then. I was like,
that's like the one rule.
bitch!
It's like, wait a minute, you don't play that. That's like one rule we don't do. You know what I mean? Like, stab me anywhere you want, but never to stab in the heart.
I was just like,
we don't use your vein.
See you next Tuesday.
Right.
That was like, that is a big, huge see you next Tuesday. Like, I can't believe she did that. That is like the thing that you just don't do. Take someone's ring away from them. Oh, I got a little vomit that came up in me. I'm like, don't you dare touch my ring.
But Elena overcame that.
Don't you steal my sunshine. A
Literally.
90s hit by Lynn. Thank
Literally.
you. Yeah, no, exactly.
Elena came in, got her ring back. Was like, oh, I'm pissed. Freaking blood veins, everything. Grabs her little white oak steak. Stefan stops her. If you want to be the bigger person here, let's go get harder alcohol. And this is the thing. This show promotes heavy drinking.
That's why I love it.
Beyond.
I love any show that promotes it.
It's like, don't kill people. Don't kill anyone.
Guys,
Drink. Don't drink beer either, unless you're going to do keg stands.
No, they do scotch. Straight up hard liquor. And that is what I favor about it. I can't watch Vampire Diaries without a cocktail in my hand. And let me tell you why. Because it's so great at promoting alcohol. It's so great about promoting drinking. It's so real. Because you watch any other sitcom on TV right now, they always have to show it, like the 30-minute sitcoms on CBS. The next day, the character always wakes up like, oh, I'm never going to drink again. That was awful.
No.
Not on this show.
No, these are champs.
They are like, she's doing keg stands. They're drinking whiskey and cokes. It's all scotch. It's no joke. And they kill people and drink blood.
Right. They don't even do this on True Blood.
No, this is my show.
This is
my jam.
Literally. What did you think about the whole thing with Rebekah and Matt? She goes up to him, says, I didn't mean to hurt you.
Or with Rebekah and Matt. Oh, okay, yeah.
She's trying to come at him again.
Oh,
Matt's still in this weird place of like, I feel like a human sacrifice.
Right.
Drink from me.
And she's like, oh, I didn't mean to hurt you. When I threw you off that bridge, you and Elena, I never meant to hurt you.
I was thinking about my brother.
It was Klaus. And I'm like, I loved his response, which was nothing except a dirty look. Because I'm just like, okay, because of you. Oh, I didn't mean to hurt you.
Oh my God. Wait a minute, wait.
Yes.
So, how Matt is always just like the throw-in?
Yeah.
Literally, he has no part of this show that now he's just the blood sacrifice. He just pops around whenever Elena needs a drink.
So Rebekah needed to kill and kill for her brother Klaus to do that. So she throws him off a bridge. Now he just lets Elena, suck his blood. Oh, I love that.
Literally, just walks in the room, just.
Well, we have to have one. We have to have one human left.
Shut up.
We have to have one human left that can actually be killed at this point. They're all vampires now, or witches.
I can't with this.
Okay.
This poor character. We need to have him in studio just to get how he feels.
We are.
No, I just cannot get. He walked into the room, didn't say one word, and was just left it, and already knew the time.
Because
pulled his bandage off.
Don't make me take it back to a Riley reference from Buffy with Riley.
Oh yeah. Oh
her boyfriend Riley.
But he was going to other vampires.
But he got addicted to the suck.
He did get addicted to the suck.
And I don't mean
like most men.
Well, not that kind of suck, you know what I'm saying? But he basically looked at her, like, are you kidding me with this? You're really going to just walk up to me with an apology? Like, just, oh, I'm sorry, it was never about you. I didn't mean to hurt you in this. You threw me off a bridge where I could have drowned if Elena didn't say save him. If Elena didn't say it. And then my best friend / ex-girlfriend now is a vampire because you threw us off that bridge.
But I feel like he's looking at this negative.
You. Well, I'm agreeing with him looking at it negative.
No, I'm not agreeing with him because, all right, let's say none of that happened. Where's Matt now? At least now.
I don't mean TV character Matt. I mean the real Matt. How can you think that he'd be like, oh, sure, Rebekah, no problem throwing me off that bridge where I could have died. If only, thank God Elena really likes me and wanted me to live, or I actually would be 6 feet under because I have no superhuman powers. But you know what? Let's grab a movie and a Coca-Cola after lunch
today. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying I feel like Matt secretly likes it. I feel like he likes the fact that Elena can only drink off him.
talk
I think
about
he
that. I was
like.
gonna
I
talk about
swear he like
Rebekah.
jerks off to that.
Oh, well, duh. And the fact that she asked, well, she has a little bit to blame with that. She did ask him during this episode to meet at the place where she was going to feed from him.
Where they first make out.
Where they make out. There was when they were dating, that was their make-out spot. So now she's chosen a very romantic spot where they used to make out and who knows what else, to now it being her, hey, let's meet in that bricky area overlooking a meadow. Now I'm going to feed off you. So how could he not put the two and two together? That's why he's like, he comes over to the house later. Oh, I'm so good. I'm so good you're okay. Glad you're okay, as he's pulling up his sleeves. And while she's talking and being like, feed.
So then, she walks away. Connor comes in to the school. He's just... Where's security in these schools? I mean, this man is just walking along in here, stabbing people, pulling them into classrooms. I mean, in my high school, doors were locked if the teacher wasn't in there.
Well, let's remember Damon was on city council. I mean, there's your security right there.
There's some slack in there.
He is probably like school security, and we just didn't see that episode.
He's talking to Matt, and Matt says, who's your kinky little girlfriend? He blames Rebekah, says that there's a party there. She goes to deal with that. He goes to deal with that. So now Connor's on the in, and we find out that Jeremy has the ability to be a vampire hunter. Interesting. Very interesting.
I wonder where this is going and where it came up from, because...
But here's my thing. There can be good vampire hunters.
Well, hold on.
Alaric.
And I just thought about this. I mean, I guess it is feasible since Jeremy's family were all vampire hunters. Their entire lineage was that. Look at all the diary, the vampire, the diaries from her family, the history. Even when, they stayed in the cabin that time last season with Stefan, with Elena and Stefan, and she found the book that had the hand. So they've kind of really, his family has been vampire hunters. And he just maybe got that gene, or I don't know.
Well, it's interesting because then also we get like this whole like 1 of 5 thing that Klaus brings up to Connor at the end, and that's more for predictions, but it is interesting where this is going. This is obviously going to lead up to the main bad guy, who we think it might be Connor, but it's clearly not. I kind of feel like Connor might actually flip teams.
No, that's definitely a prediction comment, and we'll get to that. But
I kind of feel like it might go there. Yeah, I'm over Haley in that whole situation. Well,
let's talk about after Elena and Rebekah had drank the beer that she took her ring off with. Soon after that, they started getting those hallucinations. Remember, Rebekah went at her house when she was getting all the people out, and her face had turned, the veins, and...
Well, it's interesting what werewolf blood does to them, because, with Elena, obviously she's having all this anger coming out of her.
How did he get it in the beer? I need to ask.
That's what I don't know.
That's what I don't get yet.
Matt obviously told him to go to the party, so maybe that was the tie-in for them to say, oh, we went to the party.
Okay.
Something along that lines.
Or are we going to chalk that up to a Vampire Diaries?
Yeah, no, it definitely
Mystery.
is in there, because they didn't. It's like last week when she escaped from the pig pen. Like, we didn't see it.
Implied.
We just kind of went with it. So
I love the
We're just going to go with it.
Okay, we're going to go with that.
But before we go into that, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in every single week. Again, we love that you guys are watching us on YouTube, but we need you guys to move over to iTunes. I'm going to talk like Klaus tonight.
Yes.
We need you to download, subscribe, rate, and comment on iTunes. Get us to #1. You guys always keep us in the top 10 usually. But just
we're tired of number 10, actually. Or
you're slacking this week.
No, we're tired of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We want 1.
And you guys can help us do that by downloading, subscribing, rating, and commenting. You guys have been leaving comments, but subscribe and rate. By doing that, you'll get us to #1. Then we'll be happy.
And how can you not, people? We're wearing matching outfits.
You see how we try?
English accents. And we've got bogus stuff on the show that's amazing that we can't figure out. And we love talking about. So, I mean, it's pretty much all around pretty great
That's
show,
some
guys.
5 stars there, mate.
It is.
We have an Australian accent now. I mean, they just keep coming.
Whatever. We'll
How we roll here.
We'll
That's
start
how we roll.
speaking in German in a little bit.
I love that.
All right.
5 stars.
So, yes. So they go into this. Rebekah and Elena are going through these withdrawals or psycho moments. Elena's we thought we were going to get some steamy sex with Elena and Stefan. She sees Damon. Right. Awkward. Pushes him off, and then
or not awkward
in your book,
or just right.
But then awkward when he's talking to her, and then the hallucination was saying, "You're more of me than you are of him." So I'm wondering if because she's feeding off Damon, we know that means like there's like this underlying connection. But
I thought it was because Damon's blood's in her, like True Blood style. When you drink from another vampire,
well, it is. I think it is that, but also the werewolf.
Hallucinations of them.
That and the werewolf. But how come she's not with Matt?
No, right. That's because this is what I thought from that. Because
the vampire?
No, I think it's totally two separate things. But because she did drink from Damon, that brings sexual hallucinations of him. Yet now she is having hallucinations because of the the werewolf blood. It's just bringing Damon forth because his blood does run through her, so that's to the vision.
Thick through the fields.
Oh, yeah, thick.
Rebekah's going through it, and I thought it was interesting that Klaus comes to help Elena, and also interesting that Klaus says, "Funny, I have to keep you around." So I wonder why Klaus needs Elena around.
Me too, because they didn't explain that at all. They just, was basically like, "Oh, it's funny, normally yesterday I wouldn't care at all if you died, but today it's different." And same with Connor.
Right, and that was what I was just going to go. And speaking of death, Connor goes to Dr. Fell, try and get her. Damon and Klaus are one up. Pull his same little tricks that he had in his little tour bus, the Vampire Slayer tour bus. Stab him with the arrow attached to a wire, attached to a bomb. Like, vampires can now create these. They know how to create this device, or we're going with it.
They have a lot of time on their hands in Mystic Falls. That's all I'm saying.
And Connor decides, you know what? I'm not going to tell you guys anything. Pulls the plug, blows up, and for some reason, Klaus saves him. We'll leave that for predictions because he looked at the arrow as soon as he saw the arrow and he saw that design that they saw. I think it was last week or the week before.
On the stake thing, the arrow, right?
In which Bonnie says is not magic.
So you're one of the five.
One of the five, and of course
maybe it's a Fab Five. Maybe he was a Beatle.
Oh, maybe it's Fab Five Freddy.
He's a part of the Beatles. Yeah, he's Fab Five. He's
the sixth member that never made it into the band.
I'm totally reaching here.
So, whatever. Then, they cut to the scene of Rebekah in bed, and April comes in. One of our fans wondered if if April and Connor are working with each other.
Well, it wouldn't be that far-fetched.
No, because he's reading all her books, like all the letters from her father.
Right.
So I don't know, and I just thought it was weird that she's the one that chose to stay up after the party and clean the house.
She's taking that separate approach of just being the innocent pastor's daughter. My father
just died.
And, I'm just trying to help.
Bad for me.
But I think Rebekah's kind of lapping it up, licking it up.
Likes it.
Yeah,
literally.
I think she's kind of getting into it.
Well, yeah, because, she can relate to her. It's this one girl who doesn't have any friends, really, kind of feels out of place. Rebekah's like, I'm going to make you my bitch.
I think that in her hallucination, what Matt had said to her about before she pulled his heart out in the hallucination.
Oh, that was so crazy.
That stuck in her head. You know what I mean? And that's when afterwards, when she woke up, when April was in her room cleaning, I think it kind of stuck in her head. The reason why you can't find love is because your own brother left you. You've been around for centuries, and
you haven't learned
you haven't learned anything, and your own brother left you, and now you're alone, and that's why no one loves you. And that's what she hallucinated about. And yet, Elena hallucinates, which is a true statement. I mean, you have been around for centuries, yet you're hanging out with high school students and having parties at your house.
Trying to be the cool girl.
Trying to be the cool girl. It's like, what is wrong with you? Why do you care? Hey, I've only been around for 30 years, and I could give a flying flip about what some high school kids are doing. The last thing I'd ever want to do.
Elena did a keg stand.
The last thing I'd want to do is
She's more popular than me.
Yeah, like she was so bitter about her doing that keg stand. She was really upset about that keg stand. That burnt her.
That bitch, I thought I had one up on her.
I love it that all it took for Elena to get back at her, even though she took Elena's ring and she almost destroyed it and would ruin any of Elena's chances to go out in sunlight, all Elena had to do back was, I'm going to go out there and do a keg stand. What?
And then give her this.
And everyone cheer, and she was just destroyed by that. How dare you do a keg stand in my yard? That's hysterical.
It actually really was hilarious.
I was going to go to Europe this year for a vacation. Screw all that. I'm going to Mystic Falls. I got to check this place out.
I mean, you can clearly go to school, no matter how old you are, you can go to the high school.
Maybe I do want to go to Mystic Falls and go back to high school.
You can drink all day. You can skip class to go drink, hang out with hot girls, hot guys, just do whatever you want there.
Maybe I'm
have sex in the woods. The cops don't care.
Maybe I'm the cynical one, and Rebekah's got it right. Go back and have sex and have a whole bunch of high school parties.
Yeah.
And have sex with a whole bunch of minors. I mean, maybe that is what the afterlife is all about.
Alrighty then.
It's exactly what it is. And Mystic Falls promotes this. Vampire Diaries loves it.
Yeah.
And the CW is just feeding off of it.
They're just like
number one show right now.
It really is funny. It's comical, and you think about how inappropriate the show truly is.
But before we get into the rest of the CW show, I want to talk about some other shows that we're covering on AfterBuzz. The new fall season's back. Obviously, Vampire Diaries is back.
Obviously.
Jersey Shore, The New Girl's back.
Nashville.
I'm really into Nashville.
I'm watching that right now. I'm really getting into that.
I love it. Once Upon a Time is back. Big fan of that.
If you're into Top Model, it's back for the millionth season.
And Real Housewives of Atlanta and Beverly Hills are about to come back.
Yeah.
So, point is, all the new shows are back for the fall season.
We're covering
it's cold.
We're covering like 50 shows now. I mean, there's a ton that we do.
On and off. I mean, we're always bouncing. It's cold out. You don't really want to go outside. Stay home. Watch TV. After you're done with the show, tune into AfterBuzzTV.com. We'll be here.
And we'll talk about all the good stuff and all the ridiculousness.
And there is. And speaking of ridiculousness, so now Stefan is struggling with his whole situation. And this is something I brought up to you. I kind of felt like Stefan was looking like an addict. You know, he was struggling with the Ripper thing, and now he's saying it's hard for me to help train Elena because it's making me want to feed.
Okay, and I completely understand that. Do you ever have anyone, or you've been with someone, or you know that when you go out, or maybe you're on a special diet, and you're like, oh, I can't have carbs this week, or I can't drink this week.
But you're like at an Italian
you're with
restaurant.
your best friend, or you're with your boyfriend or girlfriend, and they're having booze and eating bread, and you're just like, oh, and you want to have fun with them because you're in love with them,
right?
And you're like, but I can't have it. Like this has to be completely hard for him. I mean, now Elena is a vampire. Here she is. She's changed. Secretly, I'm sure he's kind of always wanted that, knowing that she'd live forever and they can kind of be indestructible together, and he doesn't have to protect her all the time. And now she's loving it. She's enjoying all these,
standing up on the motorcycle.
By loving it, that's what I mean. She's drinking the blood, and she's getting into it. She's not repulsed by it now, and she's standing up on the motorcycle, and she's like embracing it. And I feel that he's like, I want to experience this with her because he is in love with her. And we've got the Ripper. We've got the Ripper that's
But so late. Sorry.
Right, 2 sound cues in. There you go.
Exactly. But now I feel that he is worried that if he does enjoy it with her, which I know he strongly wants to, it's going to...
But here's my thing, because even Caroline looked at him like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, you helped me get through it.
Right, but I understand his doubt. I'm not saying he can't, especially when Caroline.
Do you think it's
talks to him
because
about it?
he helped Caroline before Klaus turned him into that evil Ripper again? Do you think maybe it's a little bit harder because he relapsed?
Yes.
He was doing good, and then now he could help
relapsed
Caroline.
twice during what we've been watching on the show,
Right.
like in this current time, not when he was originally the Ripper back in the Klaus days, back in the 1920s. Since, they've been in Mystic Falls, he's fallen off the wagon twice. So yes, I think that he's got a huge fear, and he doesn't want to lose himself. He wants to be a good influence on Elena, not one that's going to bring the worst out in her, which is what I think kind of Damon is a little bit. I don't think he wants to bring the worst out in her, but he isn't on the same page as Damon with trying to just kill a deer, and that worked for her. I think he's
being realistic. He's like, look, we're vampires. We feed off humans. She has to do it.
But Stefan wants to do that with her. So you know what I mean? If it wasn't because of his addiction and the way that he can turn into the Ripper, he would want to do that. But he knows he can't. That's what the whole him being torn inside.
And so now, just when we thought, the last season was going to help us out and say, oh, she chose Stefan. Nope. Now we're back in the love triangle. She's hallucinating over Damon. Now Damon, Elena overfeeds on Matt. Poor Matt. Damon comes in and says, I'm going to teach you. Here we go. Here we go again on my own. Like, now the love triangle's back. And now our minds are just... And the love triangle's back for her, for Caroline. It's just... We're back where we started. Now, again, it finishes off with Klaus and Connor and this whole, what is the 1 of 5 situation? And now Klaus says that he's well protected. You're the most well protected vampire slayer in the world. So on that note, we'll head into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So, before we get fully into predictions, I just want to put this out there. One of our fans hit us up and said, well, if you want to know what happens in the book, spoiler alert, if you think this is going to happen on the show, because I know the book and the show kind of go...
Can always be different.
Yeah, they differ from each other. Apparently, Elena dies. She does go through like this weird thing because she's a doppelganger, and she dies. Bonnie brings her back with magic, and she's alive again, and not a vampire, but she has like all these magical powers. So I could see them doing that with this show. Not yet, though. I think maybe 1 or 2 more seasons before something like that happens.
Not quite yet, because they're going to have a lot more drama with her being a vampire, a lot more scenarios.
Like right when she's comfortable with being a vampire, boom.
Yeah, they can't do it yet. There's too much TV juice they can squeeze out of that.
So what do you think's gonna happen with this whole Klaus and Caroline thing, and Tyler?
Well, I gotta say, I am happy that Klaus is kind of what it looks like is now what we predicted from last season. That he is now on the good side. The
fans hit us up. We're 424-256-1729. Hit us up on Twitter. I believe this is the second person, and I can't remember who the first one was. I believe the girl who plays Haley was actually on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I don't remember that. I don't recognize her from that. The last season,
one of the many slayers, many of the girl slayers. I believe.
No. Was she one of like the 100 slayers that they cut?
That was like rooming with Buffy.
Oh God, I don't remember any of those.
I believe.
No, those are,
and she was like the lesbian lover of Willow. I believe. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Just reminiscent.
Guys, but do tweet us if you have any questions or want to comment, even with not only
and make sure you guys call in
at AfterBuzz TV.
And what do we think's happening with Connor? You don't think he's going to turn to the good side?
I don't think that Connor's going to turn to the good side. I think that there's nothing good about him. I think he's strong-willed. He's one of the 5. He's like.
But what if he gets close to Jeremy because he wants to work with Jeremy?
No, I don't think so. I just don't feel that. But I am glad that now Klaus is more on our side. Klaus is actually a good one to have on your side. While watching tonight's episode, I was like, oh, good, I'm glad he was on our side
He's
tonight.
really good with Damon.
Yes, he is, because they're very, cut from the same cloth, literally.
Hopefully they have a little bromance with each other. And P.S., one of our fans wanted us to bring up last week with Damon when he was talking to Alaric. He missed Alaric, and that was kind of the guy at the end of the episode, and he brought it up to him, and he faded in the back.
Yeah.
Little nice, cute little bro moment for
That
Damon.
was I love them together. It's sad that Alaric is not with us.
It is. But we have new Vampire Slayers. Hopefully we can change them for the good.
Exactly.
Next week is our college Halloween episode. And Elena wants more blood.
I'm love
excited.
it. Let's get it, Elena.
It'll be our Halloween episode here too. Make sure you guys tune in. Follow us on AfterBuzz TV on Facebook, Twitter. Now we're on Instagram. You can follow me at DJ Jesse J on Twitter.
And you can follow me at Brittany Brower.
Same time, same place. Next week. Peace.
Bye, guys.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.